Assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome back to my channel Learning Hub. Today we are going to learn about functions in Python. Today we are going to dive into one of the most fundamental concept in Python programming, that is functions. Whether you are building a simple script or a complex web application, function are the building blocks that make your code professional, organized and efficient. Let's get started. What is function? So what exactly is a function? In simple term, function is a reusable code designed to perform a specific task. Think of it like a kitchen appliance. You provide the ingredients that perform a specific purpose and give you a result. The main advantage here is your usability. We use the ingredients again and again. Instead of writing the same logic 10 times, you write it once inside a function and call it whenever you need it. Simply, this is a black box and this is input and output, and this black box perform the function. This black box display the function. If we input this, and black box is the function that performs some basic function, and it will return the output that the function is performing. Function is a package that into a function and call it whenever you need. It increase the code reusability. Now we will move toward the next slide, that is the basic function syntax. Basic function syntax in Python. Defining a function is a straightforward, not complexity. It is a simple function definition in Python. The define keyword used to signal the start of a function definition. Naming, use snake case like this for descriptive function names. Indentation, Python uses 4 spaces to define the body block. Parentheses, when parentheses are declared, inside parentheses declare the function. Basically, we start with the define keyword, which tells Python we are defining a function. This is followed by the function name, parentheses. A crucial part is the colon at the end and the indentation of the code block. Python uses the white space to understand which lines of the code belong inside the functions. That is the basic function syntax. Now we will move toward the next slide, that is the type of arguments. These are positional, keyword and default. Arguments that must be passed in the correct chronological order. Keyword passed as key is equal to value pair, allowing for any order during the call. Default argument that make a predefined value. If none is provided, means it use it automatically predefined value if the user did not declare any arguments. Actually, function often needs data to work with. We pass this data using arguments. Position argument must be passed in the correct order, and the keyword argument allow you to pass value by name, making the code more readable. And default arguments are lifesavers. They provide a fallback value if the user forgets to provide one, preventing the program from caching it. Return its default value. Now we will move toward the next slide, that is the returning values. One common mistake for beginner is confusing print with return. While print simply display text on a console, that return statement send a value back to the caller. This allows you to store the function's output in a variable and use it later in your program. Remember, once a function hits a return statement, it stops executing the function. The function can send data back to the caller using return, unlike print parentheses which only show data. Return make the values usable in a function. A function without a return statement implicit returns none. That is the returning value. For example, if we define a function that return a value, this will explain the returning values of a function. Now we will move toward the next slide, parentheses versus arguments. You will hear these terms used interchangeably, but there is a subtle difference. Means parameters are the variable listed in the function definition. They act as a placeholder. Arguments are the actual value you pass into those placeholder when you call the function. Simply put, parentheses are the requirements and the arguments are the data that fulfill them. That is the argument, the actual value sent to the function when it is called. So you learn about parentheses and argument. If you have any question, then DM me in the comment. Now we will move toward the next slide, that is the periodic arguments. Arguments allow a function to accept any number of position arguments. It's pack them into a tuple. Tuple is the data type. Keywords. Keyword arguments allow any number of keyword argument. It packs into a dictionary. And flexibility, essentially for building decorators and wrapper where the exact inputs are not known. Sometimes you don't know in advance how many arguments will be passed to your function. Python handles these elegantly with arguments and keyword arguments. Arguments allow you to pass a variable number of non-keyword argument as a tuple. Keyword argument allows for a variable number of keyword argument as a dictionary. This gives your function immense flexibility. That's why variadic arguments are very useful for writing a function. Now we will move toward the next slide, that is the local versus global scope. Local variable is defined inside a function. Scope determines, firstly we want to know what is scope. Scope determines where a variable can be seen or used. Local variable created inside a function are local to it. They are destroyed once the function finishes. Global scope, variables created in the main body of the script, accessible everywhere unless shadowed by the local name. Simply, a local variable is defined inside a function and only exists there. You cannot use it outside. That is the local variable. And a global variable is defined in the main body of the script and we access it anywhere. Understanding scope is vital for debugging and preventing unintended changes to your data. That is the local versus global scope. Now we will move toward the next slide, that is the lambda function. Anonymously efficiency. Lambdas are small one-line function defined without a name using the lambda keyword. Syntax. Lambda arguments, expression commonly used with map, square bracket filter, square bracket and sorted, square bracket for a quick logic. Python also support lambda function, often called anonymous function because they don't have a name. That's why Python supported. These are the small one-line functions used for the quick task. They are perfect when you need a simple logic for a short period, especially when working with function like filter and map. Then we use lambda function. Here is the syntax of the lambda function. To wrap up, functions are the essential for writing clean, modular, and dry code, which stands for don't repeat yourself. String function is your first step toward advanced Python development and software architect. Thank you for your time. Does anyone have any question? Then comment me. I hope this lecture helped you understand function in Python. Thank you everyone for watching this video. If you find this lecture helpful, please like, share and subscribe to my channel Learning Hub. Don't forget to press the bell icon for more Python lectures. See you in the next video. Allah Hafiz.